Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for this Bhagavad-Gita e-course, and today we'll try to understand chapter number 3. So before we go further, we must seek the blessings of Guru and Krishna. So kindly hold your hands and let's pray together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. So we have seen that how the battlefield of Kurukshetra is arranged, is set to fire, and the fight between the two parties, Kauravas and the Pandavas, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, has become a charioteer of his beloved and pure devotee Arjuna with limited number of armies, whereas the other side, Kauravas, are totally packed up with the innumerable infantry phalanxes and many other soldiers coming across the world on their side, and the scene is ready and they are about to fight. And Arjuna asked Krishna to take his chariot in between the two armies, and as soon as he went there, he was taken aback. He was surprised, he was wonderstruck, couldn't muster up the courage to for fighting against his kinsmen Kurus, and he was bewildered, and in such a confused state Arjun surrenders to Krishna. Before he surrenders to Krishna, he has been in a relationship of friendship and so there were casual talks between the two friends, but as soon as he surrendered to Krishna, he became a disciple of Krishna, and Krishna took the position of the master to guide his bewildered disciple. And then we saw that in second chapter, in the beginning of second chapter, Krishna started chastising his disciple Arjuna, saying that Kutastvam kasmalam idam vishme samupastitam anaryavasam just vargyam akirti karma Arjuna. From where these kalmasha, these unwanted things have come in your mind, oh dear Arjuna? You are a Kshatriya supposed to fight. So Krishna starts guiding Arjuna from the second chapter, beginning with the knowledge of this soul, because he was worrying that if I am going to fight and kill so many people, so it is a very sinful activity. So Krishna started with the knowledge of the self. That's called Jnana Yoga. So we see that he explained that we are not the soul, body, we are the spirit soul. We never get destroyed. There was never a time when you, me and all the soldiers cease to exist. We are eternal. And then further, because Arjuna was a Kshatriya, so Krishna told him about his duties, about the Karma Yoga further, that you are a Kshatriya, you are supposed to fight belligerently against the enemies. So he said that, and if you do not fight, it would not befit you. You are a Kshatriya. And not only it will incur infamy to you, but to me as well, because you are my friend, you are my close associate. So if you behave like a coward, then people will speak insult words about us. It doesn't befit you being a Kshatriya, you should fight. So Krishna spoke about the knowledge of the self, Jnana Yoga, then he spoke about his duty, Karma Yoga, and he now, then further he spoke about Bhakti Yoga as well. So, so far, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Arjuna seemed to be convinced. He seemed to be fairly sufficiently, convinced. But when Krishna spoke about Bhakti Yoga in second chapter, 49th shlok, which goes this way: Durina hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha karpanaha falahe tapaha. I read the translation. O Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. In simple words, Krishna conveyed him a message that you are a Kshatriya, you should fight, but fight on my behalf. That means fight in devotion. Do it as a devotion. So this confused Arjuna again. He said, what you are saying, Krishna? Oh Achyuta, you first said that, you gave me Jnana Yoga, then you said Karma Yoga, that you should fight and, you should win the battle, you should do your duty as a Kshatriya. Now you are saying that work in devotion. As far as I know, Krishna, work in devotion means do nothing. Be silent, be numb. Don't eat, don't walk, don't sleep, nothing. So he misunderstood this Bhakti Yoga when Krishna spoke this way in 2.49. And then this is how Arjuna's inquiry was put before Krishna. So this is how third chapter begins, and today we are going to understand third chapter briefly. Now you can open, if you have Bhagavad-Gita with you in your hands, 3.1. I'll read the shloka. This is Arjuna's question because he is bewildered again that Krishna is saying fight, but he said that work in devotion, fight on my behalf, in this way will be freed from all the sinful reactions. So Arjuna was perplexed that if I have to fight, how can I be freed from sinful reactions? How is it possible? What is this devotional act? What is this fight in devotion? I don't understand. So this is the question of Arjuna. 3.1. Arjuna uvacha jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. Translation I will read. Arjun said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you urge me to engage in the ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, he thought work in devotion is intelligent, it's also known as Buddhi Yoga. So that's how we refer to it. Now it's very important to understand Arjuna called Krishna with the two names, Janardana and Keshava. Now Prabhupada further explains, if you read the purport of this chapter, Janardana means one who is a maintainer of all the living entities, and Keshava means one who had killed the demon named Keshi. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna with these particular two names because he is bewildered because of the demon-like doubts in Arjuna's mind. And the Krishna, who is a killer of the demon Keshi, can kill his demons which are like Keshi. So that's why he addressed Krishna with Keshava and Janardana. Then if you come down to 3.5, Krishna gives a solution. He says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tisthatya karma krit karete hi avasa karma sarva prakriti jair guner. All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Now, before we understand this shloka, I would like to put before you a slide that how we are going to divide this chapter. We are going to divide this chapter in 6 parts, wherein 3.1 to 3.2 we will understand Arjuna's queries, and further we'll understand what is the defect in his desire to renounce work, and so on. So I'll go on explaining you. So Arjuna, I have asked the question 3.1. Now we have directly come to second part of this chapter, that is defects in his desire to renounce work. And Krishna is clarifying this. What are the defects in his desire to renounce work? The defect is that no man in this world can remain passive, can remain isolated without work, numb. Never. Ever, never. It's not possible. All men are forced to work due to the impulse of 3 modes of material nature. What are the 3 modes of material nature? Sattva-gun, Rajogun and Tamogun. You see, our whole day, you are the same man, but you behave differently if it is morning. You behave and work differently if it is the daytime, and if you work differently, totally your attitude changes, behave differently if it is evening, because of the influence of Sattva-guna in the morning, Rajoguna, mode of passion, in the daytime, and Tamoguna in the evening or night time. So due to these 3 modes of material nature, a man is forced to work differently. He never remains passive. He may be passive apparently as far as his animation of the bodily parts are concerned, but he is still active in his mind. So person never remains inactive. So Krishna is saying, this is not possible. You cannot renounce. You cannot go away. You cannot escape from your Kshatriya duties. You have to fight. How to fight? How to work? That Krishna says in 3.9. Yajñarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma konteya mukta sanga samacharaha. So how to work? You have to work. Every man is supposed to work in this world. But if you work on my behalf, for my pleasure, then you will never incur any sin. Because this was the doubt, remember, that if I fight, I'll kill so many people and this is sinful. Then Krishna said, you do buddhi yoga, you do devotional service. Then he was confused. What is the difference between it? I'll have to anyways incur sinful reactions. So Krishna is saying, no, you have to fight. You cannot go away from this war. But fight as a yajnartha, for the pleasure of me, for the pleasure of Vishnu. Now here I will understand an important word called yajna. Yajna have two meanings. This is a Sanskrit word. It have two meanings. One is Vishnu himself. Yajna means Vishnu. Another meaning of yajna is also that any activity for the pleasure of Vishnu. So if you act on my behalf, Arjuna, that is yajna. If you do yajna, then you remain aloof, uncontaminated, untouched from any sinful activity, from all the sinful reactions. So this is the way you should work. Now, we come to the third part of this chapter. Gradual progression from karma kanda to karma yoga. So Krishna, so far I've explained that how he should work and he should dedicate his activities for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of Vishnu. And now to third part, Krishna also gives one analogy to explain how he can do any activity for his pleasure. He said, Yajna sista sanasinto muchyante sarva kilbisi bhunjate te agham papa ye pachanti atma karanat. Which means, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. You see an example, how you can offer your activity for the pleasure of Krishna, and that's how you will remain aloof, uncontaminated, untouched from any sinful reactions. You can offer food to Krishna and then you take, that becomes prasadam. So when you take prasadam, it doesn't incur any sin. Otherwise, others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So this is how Krishna minutely explained that you can offer and then you take as a prasada, you remain aloof, untouched from any sinful reaction. Now, Krishna is urging Arjuna. He is conveying a message wherein he is urging Arjuna to behave, work in this manner, fight on his behalf, fight in devotion. Because if Arjuna does so, work in this spirit of devotion, then people in large will follow. Because Arjuna is not an ordinary man. He is, if he wins this battlefield, he is going to rule over the whole planet. The flourishing kingdom of this planet. He is not ordinary man, a chivalrous king, a great voracious fighter, and a great learned scholar and a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Very exalted personality, have great name and fame. So Krishna is canvassing, that you should work in this way, work in devotion. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma vandana. Work on my behalf, fight on my behalf. And Krishna concretes it by saying, Yad yad acharati sreshthas tat tad evetaro janaha sayat paramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. That means, whatever action is performed by a great man, common man follows in it footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So this is very important for all of us, especially if you are a professor, a teacher, a dean, a director, a general, or anyone who is who have taken a responsible position, who is quite mature and guiding the people at large. It's very important for all of us to behave responsibly, because yad yad acharati srestha. Whatever a great man does, common man follows. So it's very important for Arjuna to work in devotion, do any activity for the pleasure of Krishna. And when you work for the pleasure of Krishna, remember Krishna Now it may be fighting for Arjuna, it may be teaching the students, or it may be guiding the society at large, or it may be protecting the citizens if you are a leader, if you are a politician. Everything should be done remembering Krishna by following the instruction given in Bhagavad-Gita and Bhagavatam. That is called work in devotion. And if we work in this spirit, then we never incur any sin. We remain aloof, untouched. We remain liberated in one sense. So this is a way of work which Krishna have delineated. Why even Atmarati should do his prescribed duties? So it's very simple, we have already covered. Because they are great people, they are liberated people. Atmarati here means those who are liberated, those highly advanced, exalted personalities like Arjuna. Right? And you, for the society, you are responsible, you are exalted, you are at the helm of the position, you are taking care of something very important in the society or for the nation. So, in that sense, it befits you to behave properly, and though you may not have to follow the rules and regulations ordinarily like a common man, but still, we should follow some prescribed duties so that we set an example for the common man, because they follow whatever you do, whatever a great man do. Now we come to this fifth section of this chapter, which goes power of modes, hence do prescribed duties. Now, Arjuna have understood that I should not escape, I should not go away with this war, I should fight, I should do my duties, I may have to kill, but if I do this following Krishna's instruction, that is work in devotion, that I remain aloof from all these sinful reactions. So great. And Krishna have urged Arjuna to go on working in this spirit, because whatever a great man does, common man follows. Now Krishna is convinced. Now Krishna had a doubt. What is that? That Krishna, you have so nicely explained me so far, so many intricacies of my doubts. But still there are people who are helplessly engaged in sinful activities by not following your instructions, like work in devotion, do your duties remembering Krishna, and so and so. Why does it happen that people are forced to do sinful activities? And this is how Arjuna asked in 36th shloka. Arjuna vacha atha kena pariyuktoyam papam chariti purushaha anichhamapi varshneya baladeva niyojitaha. Arjun said, O descendant of Varshni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Does not happen in all of us life. We want to do certain obnoxious, heinous, unwanted, undesirable things in our lives. Say, take an example of a chain smoker. He knows that it is hadad, it's impure, it's not healthy for his good life in long term. But still he succumbed to smoke cigarettes in so much amount, you see. And it's hazardous. Why does this happen? Why a person knowingly that it is not good to harass people, it's not good to do criminal activities, he's forced to do as if he's forced by someone, as if there is a great impulse from inside. So what is that? This is Arjuna's question. And mind you, this question is very important, because most of the problems, most of the criminal activities today in the world takes place due to this disease, due to this problem, due to this force. And what is that force? Krishna answers it in further in 37th shloka. Shri Bhagavan vacha kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahasano mahapapma vidyenam ihaveirinam. The blessed Lord said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. So this is lust. And how does it born? It is born of mode of passion. So it's very important that our lives are molded, are escalated, are transformed in a manner that we don't live no more mode of passion or ignorant life, but we dwell, we live in mode of goodness. That is very important for a sattvic, for a healthy, peaceful and happy life. Now let's understand lust, how powerful lust is. So in this context, I remember a very interesting historical incident which took place long back in India. Akbar was ruling that time and Birbal was his confidential associate. So Akbar asked Birbal that, my dear Birbal, tell me something that never leaves the mind of a person, even at the time of death. So Birbal thought about it and he asked for some time, for a week, and he went and he was engaged in his daily activities, and after a week Birbal hastily runs dash to the palace of Akbar and knocked the door and said, my dear lord, I've got the answer and it is quite evident now. I request you to come, but along with your young daughter. So Akbar, Birbal and Akbar's young daughter, they all three marched hastily, went towards the spot in a village where many people had gathered a person and he was lying on the deathbed. He was about to die. He was an old man. And as soon as Akbar, Birbal and his young daughter came, all gave them space and they all came in the room, and the old man saw Akbar, Birbal and his young daughter. Now, Akbar was observing what's happening here. What does Birbal want me to see here? So Akbar, after some time, asked Birbal, Birbal, what's happening to this old man? I, the king of this state, there before him, adjacent to his deathbed, if you wish, he can ask me anything, but he's looking somewhere else. What's happening with him? His eye doesn't budge for a long time. Whom he is seeing? Then Birbal requested Akbar to take his daughter the other side. So daughter goes other side, and this old man was actually gazing over this young daughter of Akbar, and when she was switched the other side, his eyes also switched towards the young daughter the other side. And Akbar understood it. It is lust only which is insatiable. Krishna says further that this is a great and eternal enemy and it is insatiable. You see in the 39th shloka, thus a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satiated and which burns like fire. It's not possible to control this lust. In fact, sometimes people say, what is wrong, Swamiji, when we engage in sense gratification, in our household life, it's not bad, it's okay, we enjoy. So that is important. And probably only by, sometimes people say that you go on enjoying, and someday you will be able to control over your senses when you are satiated. It never happens. Krishna is saying it is insatiable. You cannot satisfy it. Prabhupada explains, if you read the purport of this text, it's very interesting. You will get much more clear understanding about these all facts. So Prabhupada says, just like putting ghee in the fire does not extinguishes the fire. It flames it up, flares it up. So it's not possible if you engage recklessly, without any discrimination, your senses in the sense gratification, and you control your senses. No chance, not possible, insatiable. Krishna himself is saying. Now, how to control this, how to win over this great enemy called lust? Now, Krishna explains two ways. Text number 41. Tasmat tvam indriyani adho niyamya bharatarshapha papmana prajayena jnana vijnana nasanam. O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. That means when you see something, you want to enjoy something, you want to smoke, or say you want to eat something obnoxious, you should control your senses. So Krishna is saying you control your senses. This is one level, this is one way of conquering this lust, this greatest enemy. But it seems to be difficult. You know why? Prabhupada gives example that if you become diseased and doctor prohibits you to eat certain items, certain food items, the taste to enjoy those items does not go. So you may try to restrain your senses from sense gratification. It's difficult because you still have the taste to enjoy them. You may try to restrain, but this is artificial way of controlling the senses. Hence, Krishna gives a sublime and excellent, beautiful, the best possible way with the shloka. He says, he gives a nice analogy. Text number 42, you can see. Indriyani praniyahur indriyabhyo param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhya paratastu saha. Actually, Krishna is trying to explain us with an analogy. Like, suppose you are a CEO of a company. Then there are, head of the department, there are supervisors, there are employees and so, right? So, Krishna is saying here, Indriyani praniyahu. Our senses, this is like a company. Senses are above the dull matter. And above the senses is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the soul, the CEO, you, we, ourselves. Now Krishna is saying, and how to control it. So Krishna is saying, if the CEO, if you are strong, if your consciousness is right, if you are strong enough in your consciousness, then the lower senses will not act whimsically. For example, if the CEO of the company is very powerful, if he have good hold, good command, over the his subordinates, subservients, then naturally the employees will work as per his desire. Is the disease with the CEO, if he does not know how to control people, how to handle them, how to guide and manage this company, then employees will overpower, they will supersede, they will take over the company, and the company is in loss. There will be chaos in the company. So Krishna is saying, soul has to be powerful. Soul should control the senses. Soul should control the mind. Soul should empower the intelligence and control the mind and the senses. Then it is possible. And this is the easiest way possible to control and conquer this greatest enemy, lust. Now, how to empower the soul? How to, strengthen the energy of the soul? How to rejuvenate the soul, which is weak today? Senses have overpowered the soul. How to do that? So Krishna is saying, you open 43rd shloka. Evam buddhe param buddhva samsthabhyam atmanam atmanah jahi satrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. I read the translation. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to material senses, mind and intelligence, one should control the lower self by the higher self. And thus by spiritual strength, mind you, by spiritual strength, you conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So you have to empower the soul. And how is it possible? By spiritual strength. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Understand what you learned from this chapter by filling a simple form whose link is given in the description. It will make you eligible for receiving the certificate. You can also type all the questions which you have in the same form and we'll answer them through email. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.